Guys, welcome to Tone Bros. My name's Casey.
I'm Colin. We're going to get started with a current topic of the day, which, Casey, you went to the In Stereo concert in Nashville.
Yeah, the release party.
Got to see Book himself,
Yeah.
Mr. Guthrie Trapp, even some special guests. So,
Oh my gosh, I almost lost it there. Did you see that, folks? But yeah, I got to go check it out. We ran down to Nashville. Me and I actually took my family with me, and went down there. We made a few guitar shop stops, so we're going to talk about one of those here in just the next topic, actually. So, little lead into that. But we were able to make it to the In Stereo concert and release party. I went to the second night. They had two nights. They had a Friday and a Saturday night. Mm-hmm. The Friday night, I forgot who they had open on the Friday night. It was someone I wasn't really familiar with. The second night that I went to, I got lucky and got on the second night, and Jedd Hughes was opening. So Jedd Hughes done his acoustic set beforehand. Monster player.
So good.
Great singer, great songwriter, and just a very personable guy. He opened up, and then Guthrie came on with his trio, and basically kind of started the night out with his trio. Played three or so songs. And he kind of brought up people throughout the night. Obviously, Tom come up and they played some of their own songs. They had Guthrie's trio, and then they had a organ player that came up. He was playing a Hammond B3,
Okay.
and then he had a little keyboard on top of that. He was playing some, auxiliary stuff with too. But that's kind of how the night went. And I haven't got to talk to you about this at all.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious. Obviously, it's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
But I think you said, Kenny Wayne showed up, though, right?
Yeah, the night I was there, Kenny Wayne Shepherd showed up. He came out and played one song with them. I think one song, maybe two. But the night before, Vince was there, Vince Gill. Kenny Wayne was great. They had Nikki G, which is a singer and bass player. I think he played in, I'm going to get this messed up. Was it with Trigger Hippie, or was it with one of Tom's past bands he was playing with? And talk about a monster bass player and singer too, and just a fun dude, cool dude.
Well, they make fine whiskey down in Bourbon, Kentucky, but you can't get a drink from many miles around. I always think about that when I see you come in. I've been giving you my best, but you always gotta put me down. I know you got it, but you can't spare it. And what I got to do to get you to share it? It's like
Guthrie's trio was on point. I mean, I've seen Guthrie play tons. He's a great player, but his trio is running on all cylinders right now. They come out and started the show and just was hammering, and it didn't feel, I almost don't like the word show for this, because it was not a show.
Yeah.
It was, I don't even really like concert. It was a party. They talk about album release parties and stuff, because it was at 3rd and Lindsley, which is a great venue. You've seen bands there.
Yep.
And it almost felt like a celebration. Tom said on his channel, it felt like a celebration of life, is what Ebo told him, which is kind of what it felt like. It was like there's all these people gathering together to support and celebrate how well this album is done, the In Stereo album, but also kind of the art behind all of it. And they've worked this hard to get to this place where they can make their own art, and there's people supporting it and pushing forward. It was much more than...
think about how many albums they've played on. Like, they've never had a chance to create their own stuff. So I'm sure, like...
Well, they've done some, but it's never hit at this level.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. And it was so artistic, and I mean, you could just feel it was just artistry at its max.
Yeah.
The entire night. Obviously, the guitar playing was great, but what was amazing is, like, it was so tastefully done. It wasn't like notes for the sake of notes. It didn't feel like going to a Steve Vai concert. It didn't feel like going to see, one of these
Virtuoso.
Yeah, guitar players. Thank you.
Yeah.
And easy for me to say. So it was just so tastefully done. Everybody was passing solos around, and the songs, they were just playing what was right for the part. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I almost don't even want to get into the gear conversation for any of it.
Right.
Because we talk about gear on this channel plenty and enough. And if you want to know what gear they're using right now, just go hop over to their channel.
Yeah.
And go check it out. If you're not subscribed to Guthrie's channel, to Tom's channel, or to Jedd's channel, Jedd in the Shed, go out there, search their names on YouTube, get subscribed, start watching their stuff. Because, they're just incredible players.
Yeah, and seem like nice guys, too.
Very nice guys. Very nice guys. There was, several people in the room that was obviously musicians and studio guys and guys that were out playing like consistently, that were there just to celebrate like how cool it was. And the playing was. It was unbelievable. It was almost like thrown together in some ways. Like they had, I think, like 3 or 4 songs they had like ready to go. And then like people were just throwing songs out together.
That's cool though. That's kind of like, Allman Brothers, how they didn't have a set list.
Yeah.
They just call it.
Yeah, Tom at one point takes off his guitar. They're in the middle of playing a song. Or maybe they just ended a song. He takes his guitar off and like he waves over. I'm like, well, what's going on here? And he just hands the guitar off and throws a strap over somebody, and it's dark enough I can't see. I'm pretty close, 3rd and Lindsley's small anyway.
Right.
But we were down on the floor close to the stage, and he throws a strap over somebody, and like they're reserved to get on stage and go play, obviously, right? But he walks up on stage, and as soon as the lights hit him, I realized, oh, that's Ebo.
Oh, okay.
And Ebo came up and played a song.
That's cool.
With Guthrie and the trio and the organ player and stuff, and it was great too. But no, it was really, really cool. If you guys have not heard the In Stereo album, they just here recently, at the time of this recording anyway, this week they just announced that it is streaming everywhere now. It's streaming on Spotify and all that stuff. But go out there and try to support them in like actual physical media. Grab a record if you can. Grab a CD. Go grab a t-shirt if you can do that stuff. There's not a big market push to get this out there. They're not signed by any record company. It's nothing like that. It's like true artistry that they're pushing through because they feel like they need to get it out. Like you said, they've played on 1 million albums, right? So if there's any way you can go support real artistry, I think we have to do it.
Right. For sure.
If we don't do it, we're going to lose it.
I think so.
Especially in like today where all this music is streamed and it's all about the last thing you saw 10 seconds ago. And then they move forward again.
I mean, this could be another topic for another day, but like the amount of people that just release singles.
Yeah.
I mean,
most people don't release albums.
No. I mean, it's sad because you think of all those amazing albums, like the one-offs, even like, I think of Chris Stapleton's first album, or, the White Stripes, what was it, White Blood Cells, like, each one of those songs, like, has a purpose for being on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to me, it's so important to have the album where you can listen to how the flow goes. Because the way one song leads into another and where it goes, and then maybe here in the end it pops up, or it's so interesting.
And how surprising some songs are. Like you listen, Jet's album, their first album, like it almost sounds like a Beatles album.
Yeah.
Besides the rock songs that they're famous for,
right?
The rest almost sounds like the Beatles.
Yeah, and those big albums, like you start thinking about like the White Album, and you start thinking about all those huge albums. if you haven't sat down and like, especially the older Beatles stuff and some of that classic stuff, Zeppelin stuff, if you haven't listened to it all the way through, it's something I've recently been doing in my vehicle. Is like I start, even if I'm using my phone to stream it, I will start the beginning of an album and I will start playing through as I'm driving or going wherever. And whenever I go out to go in, or maybe it's a day later, I get back in my vehicle and plug my phone back in, I don't move to something else. I don't skip songs.
Right.
I don't even give myself the option to skip a song. I just continue the album wherever it was.
Right.
Because I think I've missed that.
There's one band I really need to do that with, and that's Steely Dan, because I've never truly given them a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one band that's
And I
for
think
sure.
sometimes when you just know one or two songs, you know, you don't really get a good feel for the artist.
Right.
But totally off subject. Back to In Stereo. Tom Bukovac, Guthrie Trapp. Go check it out. Pick up some physical media if you can to help support these artists. They're incredible. And if we can help support them more in this type of thing, it's not like, you know, it's not like I'm saying go give them money. What I'm saying is go support the artistry behind it. Because if they do well with this, it's just, you know, high tide raises all ships, right? So if they do well with this, that gives the opportunity for other artists to also possibly be able to do a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can get back to like some real music again that's not just pushed by the machine, that's not just a single, that's
that's put out by the man, you know.
Right. I mean, I'm not trying to be like that, but also I kind of am. Like,
Right.
We're living in a different world, and I accept that today. I've got no problem with that. But also, when something like this happens, guys, I think we have to support it as much as we can.
Yep.
That's why I went down there. That's why I went, and also I knew it was going to be a great experience. That's why I'm trying to support them by purchasing albums and doing those types of things.